Hello all, hope you had a good weekend and you're ready for the final week of season 43. In terms of the tech tree, I was finally able to collect enough chests and token that I was able to finally max my sniper towers. They were still hanging around at tick 4. I was also able to unlock and max out my rocket launchers, although I'm not too sure whether they're really helping or not. And I went and opened up the third shock launcher also. And I think it's probably only helping against Seeker players. I don't think it's really helping against Laser Ranger or Bomber players. But now, just saving up the keys for 7ER and the forward tech, I pretty much have everything from 6ER backwards, barring rocket choppers. Not too sure whether I'll use them yet or not, but maybe I can try them in the final few days. Still don't have smoke and medkits, which could be useful, I think, for a few of my heads. Nor do I have the first multi-node either, but apart from that, pretty much a maxed out tech tree so far. In terms of the log, this is what it's looking like, so not too bad. Definitely starting to see more draws as well, because we are pretty much at around the EVA tech stage, while people are saving up for 7 years. Not really much tech to unlock in the 6 phase, so that's going to happen. One loss against Kaiser. He did quite well on my base, and I did not do that well. I think I got a bad split, and I was just not able to manage my hit afterwards. But let's go through some of the hits which I'm doing both at 6ER and 7ER. This is kind of the typical base that we are seeing now, with pretty much everything maxed, with the max rocket launchers, the 3 shock launchers, all the defenses unlocked. I'm using 3 boats of heavy choppers and the rest as laser rangers. Sometimes I mix up the troop loadout, but generally this is the most common loadout that I'm going for at the moment. I'm using my gunboat energy to either clear out mines or to distract the defenses, which would cause most trouble for my troops. There's no fixed pattern, to be honest. Each hit is slightly different because the troops do get a different split, no matter, even if the base is exactly the same. So there's a bit of an element of luck over there. But yes, use the GB to clear the mines and barrage or RT down defenses as is required. This was against a 7ER player, a bit weak on defenses, so I went with the heavy choppers and laser rangers for this one, plus 1 boat of bombers, if I remember correctly. We'll speed this up. I'm going to BART out one of the shock launchers up top so that it doesn't slow down my troops. And as the flare is about to expire, I'll drop a boat of bombers, which will hopefully take out this particular ER. I dropped a boat of critters to help the bombers too, so that the boom cannon doesn't pick it up. But the main action is happening up top with the laser rangers and command. I'm going to BART out the Sky Shield so that I could Hail Mary the ER if it comes to it, as well as use any shocks if I need to do that. But generally the troops were doing quite okay. It was kind of the last ER to go down, so I guess the RT did help a little bit because I did win it by 1 second. So BARTing that Sky Shield was a good choice overall. Next one, 232. This was another 7ER layout. This one I'm going to use heavy choppers and seekers. Why I went with that, I'm not too sure. I think I'm just trying to mix up my hits against 7ERs to see what works best. So you do have to experiment your hits and see which one gives you the most optimum time, depending upon each and every layout and the defenses they have as well. So all I'm trying to do is keep my heavy choppers and bullet as much in front as possible, and then flaring the lower shielded area so that the heavy choppers and the heavies distract the shock launcher and the defenses, while the critters are cleaning up a shop on top. This was a close one. I did use a couple of boat of seekers for the shielded ER, and then a couple of RT for the top ER. But yes, pretty much all my troops were wiped out, so definitely require the extra troop damage before making these hits a success. Next one is a 225. So again, a maxed 6 ER layout with everything. I'm going to use the same loadout, 3 heavy choppers, 5 laser rangers, barring out one of the corner RL so that it doesn't do too much damage to the laser rangers because they are still quite weak. You do have to be careful around the troops. This one I tried to do a bit of a flare so that I could split my troops slightly better. Again, no set reason why I did that only on this layout and not on other layouts. It just depends upon how I'm feeling with a particular hit and how the troops are moving. So you do need to have that bit of flexibility in your hits so that you can change depending upon the situation. And then using critters to help down the ER while the troops up top take the top ER down. Next one, this player fizzled on my base. This was a pretty naked 7 ER, so I was feeling very, very brave, which I don't know whether I should be or not. And I went for just bullet and all seekers. Was quite close in the end, but luckily I was able to get the space down. So I'm taking the front ER with 3 boots of seekers, the back ER with 3 boots of seekers, and then 2 more boots of seekers for this particular ER, which was under the sky shield. I was probably a bit late on my shocks over there, but in the end it did seem to work out. The back ERs are going up top, while the ones which are dropped on the right ramp, they are staying low enough. I think I could have just kept bullet in this particular location, but I did end up flaring him. Don't think that was really required. I think that was just a panic flare on my part. And the seekers up top had enough juice to take down the ER. So got quite a solid time. Luckily the player fizzled. Otherwise I could have been in trouble if he had everything. Next one, 227. So your usual max 6 ER layout, kind of one of my previous designs which I had come up with. I'm going to BART out the rocket launchers on the right side so that they don't flank my laser rangers. And then it's just a matter of trying to keep as many laser rangers alive and moving forward onto the map, using critters to clear out the mines, using RT to clear out the mines, pretty much any and every tool that you have in your arsenal to clear out the mines and keep troops moving forward. As long as the troops are moving forward, they will get through the base in pretty decent time. And I think over the next few days, you folks will start to see a lot more draws because everyone will probably have everything. So you can only hit the base that many different amount of times and variations. This was a 7 ER play with quite a lot of defenses, to be honest. And I'm going to use heavy choppers and seekers. I think the only thing it's missing is the 3rd shock launcher, but kind of quite good, and probably a few protos as well. So the intent is again to keep the heavy choppers and bullet moving forwards while the seekers are killing the ER. Got a decent enough split with the seekers. Not that many went up top, but they did help damage that particular ER quite a lot, which was quite good, as it does come in clutch later on. And then I'm just trying to keep my troops moving forward, trying to distract the shock launcher, which I think I just about succeeded in, and then flaring the final ER while the seekers got stuck on a shock mine. But it was already damaged, so it didn't take too much to kill it. Next one, 223. And a full max 6 ER. So trying to do the same thing again over here. I'm parting out the corner RL so that again it doesn't flank my troops. I think generally it doesn't, but I just want to be sure, and I do have to spend the GB on things, so why not? Plus it's one less defense which the laser rangers have to kill through. And then just managing the hit again. This area was quite a sweet spot to do a shock launcher, which I was able to do finally once I had enough GB. And then it's coming down to the final top funnel. using some critters to distract the defenses over there while my troops get into position and they don't get shot, and then taking out the final ER with a couple of arty shots. And my final battle for today was again on a similar 6ER layout. Going to do pretty much the same thing, so I'm just going to speed it up, taking out that arrow just because we can, then using the critters to clear out the mines, using shocks so that the RLs are not trying to do too much damage on the laser ranges, then getting the troops into position for the final kill at the very top, and a couple of arties towards the end as well. In terms of next steps, I think pretty much everyone is now saving for 7ER and all the good nodes after that, the troop damage, the GBE, the DBD, another proto. Although none of these protos are too exciting, but one extra proto is always good, I think. While at the top of the leaderboard, there's definitely been a few movements. I think a few players have been banned. I'm not too sure why, but they're definitely missing some of their previous top players from the top of the leaderboard. Only Kaiser is at Legendary 2, so it doesn't feel too bad to lose against him, I guess. But hopefully with the equal tech at 7ER, we can maybe have a rematch and see how it goes then. Task Force is doing really well too. We have 5 players in Legendary already, and a few others closing the gap. I know Alec has been Legendary a few times, so hopefully he'll be back again there soon. But that's about it for today, folks. Hope you found this useful. Please subscribe if you found it so. I'll catch you in the next video.